But before we get to that, I just thought I'd start a little bit with some Canadian news, like just a little snippet of what's going on here in Canada. Okay, so bear with me. Okay, so what's going on in Canada? Okay, so as you will know, on Friday in BC, British Columbia, the province that I live in, our provincial health czar, Bonnie Henry, lifted the mandates. Okay, so, you know, this is questionable what she did also, but she's basically, we were the only jurisdiction in the world that was no jab, no job here in this province, right? So let me just read to you a little bit about this. They were lifted Friday. Let's have a little picture of this lady and let's see what she okay, there she is, our public health czar, right? So they were lifted Friday. We were the only jurisdiction with no jab, no job. About 2,500 healthcare workers, 900 in interior health, were terminated in 2021 for being unvaccinated in BC. And BC was one of the last jurisdictions, like I've just said, in the world to hang on for dear life for this no jab, no job thing. We do have government financial ties to this, so that's part of the reason. So there's an election coming up. So a lot of people are saying this is why she lifted the mandates. But look, I interviewed Dr. York Sang and Dr. Stephen Pellick on the weekend, and we still have Bill 36. Bill 36 is still in effect. So you still have to register with the BC registry your vaccine status. There is some problems because there's a big conflict of interest between the union and the NDP. The union is receiving money and they're receiving your tax dollars as was my union at Global News. So and Bill 36 is still legal. It's still in law, right? So let me see if I can get rid of her picture. Yeah. So they can still fine you, the government. You still have to declare your vaccine status. Bill 36 in is legal. So time will tell how this goes down. And I'd love to hear from nurses, healthcare workers, anybody working in the industry as to how this is breaking down for you. Are you going to go back to work or what are you going to do? But anyway, that was some big news that happened on Friday, as they always like to drop the news on Friday. Another thing I just quickly want to talk about is Jasper. As you all know, Jasper in Alberta, beautiful picture postcard town that burned down. And I still don't know what caused the wildfire. Um, so is it lightning? Is it some people think DEW? Is it the pine beetle infestation? Like, what is the actual problem as to what happened in Jasper? What is to blame? And why can't the news sort of just come to a consensus on how these damn fires start? Because we've had problems in Nova Scotia. We've had fires in the shoe shop. Everybody's seen Maui burn down and Paradise, California. All the pictures look the same. Why do all the pictures look the same? Let's see if I have a picture of Jasper here. The mayor of Jasper, his name is Richard Ireland. He is defending Parks Canada. Now, Jasper National Park is a national park, right? So it fell under federal jurisdiction. So he's not blaming them actually for not being able to remove all those dead trees that could have been part of the pine beetle infestation. But a lot of people are saying you just hurry up and wait, and that's what caused 30% of the town to burn down. Some buildings burn, some trees are still standing. It's really very curious. And 20,000 people were forced to evacuate. So that's what happened in Jasper. So that was sad. And one other thing here, closing arguments took place for the Coutts too. We had 4 people that were imprisoned for protesting mandates at the Coutts border crossing a couple years ago in the winter of 2022. And closing arguments were heard. So lawyers for the Crown and 2 defendants for Anthony Olenek and Chris Carbert were heard. This was yesterday in a Lethbridge courtroom. These guys are in jail for conspiracy to commit murder, of RCMP officers. They are on some sort of phony, trumped up weapons charges and mischief. So these guys have been in prison, in remand for over 800 days. And finally, closing arguments were heard the other day. And I wish nothing more than for them to be free. This is just insane that they could be in prison for that long. Here they are. Here they are. Just take a look at them. These guys have been locked up for that long for standing up for your rights and freedoms. And let me just backtrack a little bit. Here's the darn tree in Jasper that I couldn't find before. The trees are up, the building is gone. So I find all this very curious as to what's going on. But that is just a little look at some Canadian news. Standing by is the fabulous Jamie Ike.